Yeah, good afternoon. This is Titi Lola Martins, your relationship counselor, coming your way again this afternoon. And you are tuned to the right modest channel. Today is the day of love. Everybody's celebrating love. It's Valentine's Day, 14th of February. I must tell you, make sure love is a wonderful thing and it's something we must celebrate every day. Okay? Since it's the season of love, I would like to drop a few things about love. You know, it has always bothered me how people define love, what people call love. I've been looking for an opportunity to demystify this love thing. In fact, people get confused. The rate of confusion about love is so high. I'm believing God that with these few minutes I'm going to spend with you, you're going to have an opportunity for your perspective about love to change, because you're going to have more knowledge about love. You've heard many things being said. I did a broadcast yesterday about love and trust. You need to go and watch it, which is more essential in a relationship. I've been receiving wonderful comments on my Facebook account, comments on everyone's opinion, whether it is love, whether it is trust, and everything has been tending. Many people have been tending towards the fact that it's trust. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. I would just like you to go and watch it. There are a few things you need to really know about love and trust in that video. Okay. And while doing that video yesterday, I thought about it. This love thing. Can we talk a little about it more so that people can understand love? You know, oftentimes you must have heard it being said, love is not enough, love is not enough. And at the same time, whenever relationship is going to be involved, the first question is, do you love each other? Are we not confusing ourselves? Or is somebody not confused? Is somebody not confusing someone here? No. It is lack of knowledge, the right knowledge, that can bring confusion. Now let's talk about love. You know, when we say love is not enough, how or what do we mean by that? Before we talk about what we meant by that, I would like to tell you there are different expressions of love. It's just that people are more conversant with a particular one, and that is why they just feel that is all they need. And at the end of the day, they get disappointed, because if love is the ultimate, then why is it not working? Why is it not just enough? Why shouldn't it be enough if it is the ultimate? Okay, now we have what I call different expressions of love. There's what we call the eros love. That is love by attraction. That is the kind of love that exists when you see someone, you love the person. When you say, oh, love at first sight, to be frank with you, it's mostly the eros love. By attraction, you admire the person. Maybe the eyes, the complexion, the body statistics, whatever it is not bad to admire someone. This is the kind of love that we say is not enough. However, I would like to go into some other expressions of love. I've talked about the eros love. It is the love by what? Attraction. Then we have the filial love. The filial love is the love that exists between friends. No string attached. And because there are no string attached, you are able to discover yourself. You are able to open up. You don't need to conceal. You are just, open to your friend. He sees your weaknesses. He sees your strength. You are not, you are not careful for your friend to see your weaknesses. After all, he's a friend. When I have the eros love and I say, oh, I love this babe, I love this girl, this guy, I'm in love, somehow you try to hide your weaknesses from each other, want to impress each other. When it comes to friendship, there's nothing, you're not out there to impress yourself. Yes, you do things to make each other happy, but you are not all out to impress. It's a natural love, filial love, natural love that exists between friends, no string attached. But for heroes, there are a lot of string attached. Okay, then we have this touch love. That is the love that exists between, natural love that exists between siblings, families. Okay, and then lastly we have the agape love. This is the four major. There could be some other sub. These are the four major types of love or expressions of love that we have. I said that people are easily confused, so they don't know which love is operational in their lives sometimes, especially when it comes to the eros. They just, these days, it's like the definition of love has been narrowed down to the eros love. That's why we say love is not enough. Let's speak in your language. It's not as if love is not enough. It's not as if love is not vital. Love is enough, but not the love that you're talking about. I will emphasize by saying it is the agape love, like unconditional love, no string attached. That's the kind of love that God had for us, has for us. Bible says when we were sinners, He still sent His Son to die for us. That's the kind of love Christ had for us. While we were yet sinners, He died for us. He had nothing to gain from us, but He still died because He knew that that is the only remedy for the sins of the world. And because of God's love, He was able to release Jesus. Okay, now you need all these expressions of love for your marriage to work. If you have all these expressions of love, I'm telling you, your marriage will definitely work. Let's start from the eros love. Yes, something needs to attract me to you. Yes, something needs to attract me to you. You are beautiful, you are handsome. In my own mind, remember, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If you like, tell me my wife is not beautiful. That is your opinion. Tell me my husband is not handsome. It is your opinion. As far as I'm concerned, he's the most handsome man on earth. Okay? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I love him for who he is. I love his physique. He's tall. He's got the broad chest. I love everything about him. That's love by attraction. You need it, yes. That will help you not to be looking here and there and always have somebody to compare to your spouse who is better than your spouse. You know what you want and you've seen it in your spouse. It is important, but it is not just the kind of love that will sustain you throughout. Because that beauty you see today might not be there tomorrow. Okay? Some other things may come in. Alright? And it may not be there tomorrow. It does not last. Or that feeling of, affection may be there today, may not be there. Okay, now let's talk about the second one, the filial. That's the love that exists between friends. The love that exists between, you need it in your marriage also. In fact, that's why as marriage counselors we say the best person for you to marry is your friend. Because while you were friends, you've had opportunity to see each other without any need to want to conceal. The other person is not concealed because you are friends. You're not out to impress. You grew up together. You built a relationship together from the scratch. Not because of any attraction. You're just friends. And you're able to discover a lot of things about yourselves, which are very, very essential with marriage. In marriage rather, as you are when you are friends, because somebody is not trying to hide that or trying to impress the other person. Love, the filial love is also important in your marriage. You and your spouse need to get to that point where you are actually friends. Even if you were not friends before you got married, that is why the period of courtship is there, for you to develop friendship. Because that love, that attraction cannot sustain your relationship. No way. It cannot sustain. When things start happening, that is the kind of love that gets choked up easily by turns, happenings, negative happenings, unmet expectations, a lot of things, and there it goes and it fizzles out. However, if you have built friendship, it's easier for you to forgive one another because he's your friend. Now, when I'm talking about the filial love, think of a friend that you both started as kids. Things are just natural. You easily forgive yourself. You build some bonds. Not that the bond just came all of a sudden, like say love at first sight. It does not last. That is also essential in your marriage. I'll be frank with you. When I first got married to my husband, we were not friends initially, but we were attracted to each other. So we started building friendship. Then he hardly talked to me. He does not talk. And I was always complaining, this guy does not talk. Somebody, my saving grace, told me. When I told him, he doesn't talk. I said, no, he talks, but he talks to his friends. It was that day I realized I was not a friend. So I began to build friendship. How did I build a friendship? Show interest in what he loved, because I wanted to build friendship. It is when friendship is not built in marriage that you will see that when children start coming in, husband and wife, they are no longer close. They are no longer talking to each other. They talk to the children. Because you never built solid friendship while you are growing together in your first few years of marriage. So if you're out there, you have not really... It is your friends that you talk to, you open up to whatever extent. Anything you are worried about, anything you talk to your friend. The first person that comes to your mind is your friend. It is very, very important that you make your spouse your friend. Because when you don't make your spouse your friend, you become vulnerable to those people you are talking to. Frank, talk. Yeah, you become vulnerable. Okay, now this touch love, that's the natural love that happens, between siblings. It's just natural. You can build that too, such that it gets to a point that your spouse is just like your sister. It's just like your brother. Your sister, hardly, even if they offend you, you easily forgive. Why many people don't find it easy to forgive in relationships sometimes is because this person is never your friend. There's no other thing attracting you than sex. There's no other thing bonding you together than sex. There's more to bonding than sex. And that is why when the sex is no longer there, when the sex is no longer enjoyable, the love goes down. That is the kind of love that we say is not enough. And lastly, I'll talk about the agape love. The agape love is the love of God. Unconditional. No matter how much I sin, God forgives me. I won't glory in sin. But I have that confidence that no matter how much I sin, I'm still his daughter. He will forgive me. He will not take away his privileges from me, except I walk out of the covenant myself. That's one thing about God. So when you have this kind of love in you, you'll be able to forgive your spouse. You'll be able to let go of things. You'll be able to sacrifice many things on behalf of your family. Just for the welfare of your family, for the well-being of your spouse, for the well-being of everybody. But I must say, this kind of love, the agape love, only few people have the agape love. Yes, this agape love is shared abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit of God. That's why if you don't have a relationship with God, sorry, you will not be able to operate the agape love. You may be able to operate others, but just as they are, no matter how bonded you are, friends, we have friends who've been friends for 20 years, and all of a sudden something happens and they start throwing tantrums, and that is the end of the friendship. 20 years, 30 years friendship because of an happening or various happenings. But when it is the agape love, no matter the amount of happenings, you still keep forgiving, you still keep loving, your love even gets stronger. Have you noticed that when you commit a sin, I'm not saying go and commit sin, no. When you commit a sin and you truly repent before God and you talk to him, your heart yearns for him more. You want to love him the more because you have enjoyed forgiveness. That's what happens when the agape love is in your heart. You'll be able to forgive your spouse. Even if there's no attraction anymore, you'll still be able to do your obligation as a wife, as a husband. Even if he's not reciprocating. What are we reciprocating to God in terms of love? Yet he loves us. That is the highest point, expression of love. And when you have it, you have it. There's no amount of sin your spouse is going to commit against you that you cannot forgive. Or you say, because he did this, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do my responsibility. This love keeps you going. Even when your spouse is not doing his responsibility or doing his responsibility as a wife to you, you still go on and say, I am to do this. This is my responsibility. And you still go on doing it joyfully. You need the agape love in your life. That is the love of God. If you don't have Jesus in your life, I'm sorry, that this love cannot be shared. If you don't have the Spirit of God in you, that is the way I know. When you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, the Bible says to them he gave the power to become the sons of God. What is that power? It is the Holy Spirit. Now that Holy Spirit sheds abroad that love in your heart. You don't find this kind of love outside God. Nobody can give you that love. The love, that is the only love that I know that can sustain marriage. All other kinds of love, they all have their failing points. You will not fail in the name of Jesus. It is the day of love, Valentine's Day. I am happy to be talking to you this morning. Please, let's get to understand love better. My youth in the house, check it. Each time somebody says I love you, most of the time it is actually eros love. And that's why you need to give time for your relationship to build before you say I do. There are many things to check. You check your compatibility. You check, what can I tolerate? What can I not tolerate in this person? Especially when it has to do with your core values in life. Time will not permit me to go into all that. But I'm sure as you keep watching the videos in this channel, you will get the totality of my message. God bless you. Once again, this is Titi Lola Martins. You're tuned to the Right Modest channel. Happy Valentine. God bless you. Amen.